Here comes Aaron, back from the vet, 3 miles off route.
Watch the rising of the sun.
Hello again, trail friends. It's time for another episode of The Journey, and I hope you brought your rain gloves and warm layers for this one because it's about to get chilly. Oh, and if you're new here and just tuning in, you rebel you, why are you starting on episode 3 instead of day 1, episode 1? Seriously, we're already on day 6 here. You gotta go back. Start on day 1 and catch up, and we'll see in a bit. Because you've missed a lot. But to recap briefly, in the summer of 2024, we bike-packed, or more accurately, dog-packed southbound along the Great Divide mountain bike route, going border to border, from the border of Canada to the border of Mexico, all along the spine of the Continental Divide. It's only been a short 5 days on trail for us, but in that amount of time, so much has happened. We pedaled to a major U.S. border crossing, encountered a bear, had our first bike mechanical problem, saw our first Tour Divide racers fly by, and dodged the brunt of a winter storm which had all the Montanians talking. Montanians? Montanians? Montanians. A huge thank you to the Adventure Cycling Association for being trailblazers and dreaming up, mapping, and ultimately creating this route back in the early 1990s. Back when mountain bikes were still fairly a new thing. The GDMBR, thanks to the ACA and the adventurous people there, is the world's longest mapped off-pavement biking route. And the ACA didn't just come up with any old route. They made sure it was challenging. It is comprised of mostly dirt and gravel roads, gaining a total of nearly 200,000 feet of elevation, while covering a distance of 2,774 miles. Oh, and all those miles, they're ridden in high elevation for the duration of the ride, as the goal of the route was to stay as close as possible to the Continental Divide. Speaking of the Continental Divide, the GDMBR is not to be confused with the Continental Divide Trail, or the CDT, a single-track trail from Canada to Mexico for hikers. The GDMBR does run parallel to it, and occasionally the GDMBR does intersect with the CDT, but not often. The ACA had great foresight back in the 80s and 90s to keep the GDMBR entirely separate from the CDT so as to alleviate concerns of a multi-user trail system, specifically hikers and mountain bikers using the same trails. The whole route is a dream, and we wouldn't have had our adventure this summer without the efforts of the Adventure Cycling Association team in collaboration with the substantial support from all their partners. And lastly, it should be mentioned that the published work of the Adventure Cycling Association, including their official guidebook, Cycling the Great Divide, along with their set of 7 very substantial and detailed maps, were essential to us in navigating our adventure this summer. Additionally, Aaron utilized the ACA's Bicycle Route Navigator app for an added layer of trail intel. Okay, enough talking. Let's saddle up, pedal along, and adventure with Affinity Forest to see what happens in this episode, from Big Fork, Montana to just south of Seeley Lake. Hold on tight. It's gonna be a wild ride. Good morning from, I think it is day 6 of riding for us. in day 4 of the GDMBR. A lot has happened in the last 24 hours. I'll try to catch you up to speed. Yesterday morning, a mile out of Whitefish, Rowdy took a spill outside of the crate and really banged up his front canine. All the vets were closed yesterday morning. Yesterday, because it was Sunday, apparently no vets are open. So we called a vet tech, triaged the situation, and made our way to Flathead State Park campground with the plans of going into the vet first thing in the morning. And then campground was great. However, we went to bed about 8, and by 10, a mentally ill, drunk, maybe on drugs man in the campsite next to us in hiker-biker camp was making threats to shoot us, kill us, bang bang, you're dead. The whole campground heard it. So we scrambled out of our tent as fast as we could, and cops were called. They did nothing except kick the guy out of the tent and said, "You're safe now." So I didn't capture much during the whole ordeal, but I did get some footage of the police coming to take down the guy's tent, which is not what you want to do with mentally ill people. You want to get them help. Just saying. But that's what happened last night. Anyway, did not get any sleep last night. Said couldn't sleep there. It's not a safe, secure situation. I go into my whole active shooter training that I have from my years in K-12 education, and that is not protocol. So anyway, luckily a ranger was called in the first town we started in, and he came over and put us up in his home overnight. Made best friends with him. The wonderful human being that came to our rescue and took us in for the night. He turns out to be an epic mega biker himself, and we just had actually the bad situation turned into a great one. We had a good 30-minute conversation in the ride around 1 a.m. to his house at 1:30 about bikes. I mean, we just talked everything from RAGBRAI to the Divide. Oh, it was fun.
There's this little town called Ferndale. Yep. It's got the little coffee shop there. So my boss lives like 3 miles outside of Ferndale.
So bad situation turned good, but I was in fight, flight, or freeze last night. Really bad. A lot of adrenaline. No rest and recovery, basically. I mean, I did sleep a little bit last night eventually. Anyway, Rowdy's in the vet right now. Aaron's going to get him. Turns out he doesn't need surgery immediately, but will need it. We will get him his canine extracted when we get home, and pain meds for a week, and he's cleared to go. That's what's happened in the last 24 hours, and I just ate a breakfast, and we've met some of the front runners on the Tour Divide, which has been cool. It's been an up and down roller coaster in the last 24 hours. That's what it's been like for me. I am very discombobulated, very dysregulated, and I don't know, my body is pretty tired from the first 5 days of riding. We did not ease into it as I had hoped. And then now my central nervous system is pretty out of whack, and I haven't had much sleep. But I've been really grateful for the good people along the way, including the state trooper yesterday, or no, not the state trooper, but the park ranger did great. So we're really grateful to him. It's another great example of just the broken system in our society. I prayed for the gentleman that is suffering with his illness, and no one is getting him help. He's out there right now. He had it breaks my heart. It just tears it apart. And then on top of that, my heart is terrified with active shooters in the grocery stores. It's in the schools. It's a bad situation. Anyway, that's what's going on. All right, all my bags are haphazard. I mean, I packed. Aaron was like, "Oh, you can pack up strike camp fast," because last night I struck camp fast. The police stood there while we struck camp because the guy was just still in the woods behind there. And I didn't feel safe going to strike camp, but I did it fast. I shoved things in all kinds of bags, and now I need to get everything back in the right bags. I don't know where anything is right now. I was just getting a system dialed in, too, with all my bags and where things went. I was getting into a rhythm. But I hope to get back on trail today and pedal through this lovely rain and get passed by a lot of Tour Divide racers. So here we go. Here comes Aaron, back from the vet, 3 miles off route. And he's bringing our rowdy boy cleared for takeoff, snaggletooth and all. Our hero, and there's our boy. There's our boy. Did you have a terrible morning? Oh, you ready to ride again? You ready to ride again, Snaggletooth? Okay.
Little by little you wear me down. Little by little you wear me down.
Big smiles still, big smiles.
Yeah, big smiles, buddy, for all the miles. Yeah, soggy doggy. Things have gotten a bit soggy here for day 7 of pedaling for us and day 5 of the Tour Divide. Had rain yesterday, today. Everything is wet. But we're pushing on. Feeling slow today. But we're moving.
There was so much rain and cold on this day, I didn't do much filming. The rain came down in sheets all day and the riding was difficult. It was hard to stay warm on the descents and I was mostly numb and frozen all day. Though oddly, Aaron has this rando photo from that day, so apparently the sun came out for a hot second. I had to check the date stamp on this photo because I still don't believe it, and yep, at exactly 11:17 a.m., there was a moment of sun. But after 40 miles of non-stop downpour, morale was low, and we pedaled our pretty pathetic crew into Holland Lake Campground, hoping to seek shelter and a reprieve from the rain of the last few days in the lodge, and better yet, dine on some warm food. However, our bad luck just kept going as we pedaled up excitedly to the lodge. There, we were dealt a new blow. The lodge was closed on this day, and sorry for the inconvenience. Oh, the GDMBR, it's nothing if not a test in dealing with the lowest of lows.
Miserably wet here. It's raining so hard, you even put a fire out.
And these last couple of days on trail were really giving it to us. Between Rowdy's tumble and broken tooth, the threats of death, and non-stop torrential rain and cold, I was ready for one of the high points I'd heard so much about. But when you're out there and the lows keep coming, there's nothing to do but make the best of it.
Big smiles still. Big smiles.
Because there are no easy fixes. No DoorDash, no Ubers to rescue you, no hotel rooms, no easy outs or quick escapes from the discomfort that you chose to put yourself in. So you take stock. There's your packet of tuna and rice, a still wet tent to put up from the previous night, and a gift from the camp host who takes pity on you, providing his lighter fluid to help you get a fire going in the middle of a downpour. And at that moment, you realize this is the discomfort that you get to be in. This is the GDMBR, baby, and this is what you came for.
Time to let go, so come what may. Don't look before you leave. What you give, you get to keep. So long, farewell, bye-bye. Let's have a toast for those lost old lives.
Day 8. For us, day 6, Tour Divide. Wednesday, June 18th. The sun decides to come out. Hakuna Matata, it means no worries. For the rest of your days, it's a problem-free philosophy.
And we either go down into the valley and around the corner there.
This descent from Richmond Peak into the town of Seeley Lake was one of the more memorable sections of the trail for me. No filming was captured because once we started downhill, our full attention was definitely needed at the handlebars. I recall a lot of fairly steep single track with occasional cliff exposures requiring all of my previous mountain bike experience and skills to navigate safely. To be clear, this section after Richmond Peak was a lot of fun. It just required all our focus pedaling on fully loaded bikes. I also seem to recall the trail eventually opening up to a speedy, fast gravel road descent before the trail made a sharp left turn into more very wild single track full of down logs, 2 of which I shoved my bike under and crawled under myself, followed by rowdy and technical trail sections. Later in the trail, I would learn that some very capable and solid riders out there had very little to no experience on mountain bike trails, and that fact just blew me away.
For those considering attempting the GDMBR, a background in road riding only is, in my opinion, not sufficient in preparing for the demands of this ride. I would strongly recommend a background in single-track mountain biking. And paired with your road riding endurance, you'll be a king or a queen on the trail out there. Even though the majority of the route is on open gravel roads, there are many sections along the trail like this descent that required technical riding skills to navigate safely. Stories of gnarly crashes were traded up and down the trail the whole time, as well as online. And both Aaron and I, even with our backgrounds, had a few very scary close calls along the way.
If we hold on tight, we'll keep going till we reach new heights, going further than we ever thought we could. We're on to something good. We won't let go. We'll keep pushing through the highs and lows, going further than we ever thought we could. We're on to something good. All I know, somehow we'll see this through. Every second that it takes is a sign we're on the way. Way to the rhythm of the moment that we're making. The silver lining, we won't let go. We'll keep pushing through the highs and lows, going further than we ever thought we could. Yeah, we're on to something good.
Zip.